Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I am Falakzeeb Khan, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with industry stalwarts interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we achieved with these sessions, which are a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge sharing community. We have one such industry heavyweight in our today's session of FaceTime with Leaders, Dr. Prakerti Kashyap. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders. We are glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much.
So let me give you a quick brief about Dr. Kashyap. She is a physician with great experience in managing functional operations and driving clinical quality improvement. She has strong computer skills, proficiency in several Indian and foreign languages, and hospitality operations support, and is skilled in staff education and training, good listening, counseling, and public speaking. She has outstanding communication abilities across media, namely telephone etiquette, social media handling, and excellent interpersonal skills that she uses to build relationships with stakeholders. At present, she handles several roles, namely DRR Senior Program Manager and Technical Advisor, Head of Operations in Vaccination, and Medical Superintendent at Meena Devi Jindal Hospital, Civil Lines. We are glad to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Kashyap, could you please let our viewers know about your career journey so far?
Sure. So, as you know that I started as a doctor, I finished my MBBS like in 2015, and since then it has been a interesting journey, quite extensive. I never thought that I would be doing so much. If I look into the flashback, I never thought that this is how it is going to be. So I actually started as how every MBBS doctor starts, with clinical practice. And weirdly enough, we had COVID-19 stuck with us. And so what happened was, like, I was always interested in public health. And public health is something that is very important for everybody, like all over the world. But at the same time, it has not been looked into as much. So because of COVID-19, how the world was struggling, I got into different opportunities, and that is where my different journey began. So I started as a doctor and moved on to different positions. I taught, I designed SOPs, I managed hospitals, I started different centers with the basic scratch things that I could, get available at that time. I was able to, work in scenarios where the most minimum things were available, and at the same time where you could get everything on your board. And at present, I'm handling the hospital where I oversee the clinical aspects, and at the same time, I oversee the management as well. So in general, my work has been appreciated by the government and different people. I participate in a lot of conferences because of my experience now, and it has been a wonderful journey.
That's really great. Indeed, a wonderful and interesting journey. You have continually cross-skilled yourself in various domains to aid your medical vocation. Do you feel that there is a vast chasm of unfulfilled need for inter-domain discipline?
Okay. So what I feel is that, when we are talking about medical profession in general, yes. So when you've been taught medicine, it's a 5.5 years course in India, and there are different subjects that are being taught. And in I would say that, starting from not just, medical related subjects, we've also been taught, social aspects of it. Then there is law also involved, because see, medicine is something that, that is part of everybody's life, and this will always remain like that.
Right.
And at that time, when you're learning, when you're a student, you never understand that, how all of this is going to help, because at that time you just focus that you are just going to be a doctor, and as a doctor you just need to, see the patients, give them medicine, and probably that is where it ends. But apparently the life is not like that. And in my approximately 8 years of, working, I have understood, how every field is, interlinked. You just can't be a doctor, because and I'm not going to, say this just by profession, because, your life is not just profession. You have personal life and you have different things. So, every bit of knowledge that you can gain from, any place, that is going to be helpful in, any domain. So there are a lot of things that I learned, by doing something, maybe in the bank or somewhere, that I have incorporated while I was working in the hospital, and it is vice versa. So, so definitely, I mean, I would agree on the fact that there's a unfulfilled need. And because, in India especially, people are very focused with what they're learning, and it is a very strong opportunity, or let's say there's a way where, where we can incorporate all of this and make a lot of things better. Because it's not just about medicine, it's about all the fields that exist. Basically what I want to say is that when you are, leading your life, there are a lot of things that, you need help of. And so when we are talking about, the knowledge or the different domains that are available, everything is interlinked, and everything that you are, doing is a mix of everything. So if I reframe this, I would say that when we start working into a field, I actually employ a lot of people. So when I take the interviews, let's say somebody has joined, as a data entry operator. So it looks like, he's just, taking some piece of information and filling it in a different format. So, but that's not how it is. There are different kinds of data that is there. There might, some people are able to understand what sort of data, and some people not. So what I'm trying to say is that that every piece of information that exists, somewhere the other, it will be utilized. It could be technology. So medicine, I definitely cannot think that it can work without technology. I mean, every advancement or every development that we've had is, through technology. And definitely, digital media or management, everything helps every bit of information that is available, is all I can say.
Yes. So in your journey so far, what has been your biggest inspiration through your career journey?
So here I would want to say that, so inspiration is not, one single stimuli, basically. Inspiration is something that you can find every day, or maybe, every hour. It depends. So, when I was younger, in my school days, I actually thought, that, being a doctor is such a social, socially, something that, you do for people, not something
Yes.
that you do for yourself.
Right.
And so now, so obviously I still have the same perspective, but, there are things that have changed, because when you're younger, you don't feel that, you have to, make your daily living. So money is also part of that. So, but while I was studying, and like, till today, so there are different patients that have taught me so much. And it's not just about that. COVID-19 has been very inspiring for me. It was a difficult phase for everybody.
Right.
But at the same time, we all learned so much, because before COVID, there were things that we were doing in a certain way. And now after COVID, we have realized that, these things can be done in a much different way, maybe even more efficiently, and we can save more time. So, that is how it is. And if I name a person who has been my biggest inspiration, I think I would call my father, because I have seen him working, day in, day out, and I have seen him how, do everything, sitting at one place, and how you can, manage
So he's
just
also a doctor.
everything. I'm sorry?
He's also a doctor.
No, so he's actually a consultant. He does a lot of counseling. So, but yeah, so that is where our professions are a bit similar, because counseling is also a part of my job. You have to do that, because
Right.
giving medicines is something that comes a little later, but making sure that people understand what they are going through, or so that makes sense. So yeah, so that is, I think, and so my inspiration has not ended yet. It keeps going on. That is all I can say.
Yes, like in your every one second. So in your so I think in your day-to-day journey, everything or anything that inspires you, obviously you emerge more stronger, is what I feel, right?
Yes, definitely. And so I can give you one more example over here. So I recently went to US, and it was actually my first visit to US. And as an Indian, there are a lot of things that are hyped, and and there are a lot of things that I've already heard. So there were some misconceptions. There were few things that were different that I realized, and so a lot of things in my perspective changed about life, and I have incorporated. So anything that I feel is good for leading the life or for betterment in general, I adapt, and it doesn't matter where the inspiration comes.
That's really great. So as you have handled several demanding roles and responsibilities during the COVID-19 lockdown, do you find areas where better corporate governance is needed? In other words, do you think that there is a need for a better corporate governance framework in India?
Okay, so sitting at one place, where I mean, definitely I have some experience in managing, hospitals, multiple hospitals to be precise. Like there was one point of time that I had, about 2,000 people who were under me, like who were like dependent on me for guidance. Obviously in a hierarchy pattern. So sitting at that point and looking at the government, it's difficult to say. Reason being because for India especially, it's a huge population that we have. We have recently moved on to the biggest population number, and it's a challenge in itself. Government is doing a great job. I will never say that there's some problem with their system, but at the same time, I also understand that managing such huge numbers is difficult. And even in the COVID-19 lockdown, where we were trying to make everything available for everybody, and I'm not just talking about medicine perspective, but about the groceries and everything, that because everything was disrupted because of the lockdown. So even in that sense, so obviously there is a careful planning that is involved. Definitely there is always ways we can make things better. There's always room for improvement. That is all I would say. And corporate governance is something that is always required. Uh, the reason I would quote here is that so corporate governance is, so see, if you want to lead people, you need a structure, and that structure is something that has to be planned. It's not like you can just sit down and immediately make a plan and lay out and you establish it. It doesn't happen. Yes. I can give you an example on this, because so my COVID-19 journey started somewhere around in March, April of 2020, and from that time period till 2022 January, I have seen different phases. I have seen the phase where I was single-handedly looking after a lot of things, and I have also seen the phase where I had like 6 different people who I could delegate the responsibility to. It is always a teamwork, and the system has to be created like that. So and definitely, so there is always room for improvement, and I think we can do better. There are a lot of things that are good in US, as I was saying, and there are a lot of things that are good in India. So we have to come to a mutual point where we can create a better world.
So, what values do you offer to the corporate world as a corporate governance expert?
So I don't think that values from one person can help in general, because when you're talking about governance, it's always a teamwork. But if you ask me, so my idea is, you have to take everything together. Again, I'm going to quote the teamwork here. So leader is somebody who will lead, definitely. And when there is a group of leaders, and so everybody has their own inputs to offer, and there is nothing right, there is nothing wrong. It's always about the perspective and the subjective opinion of a person. So when we are in a meeting, when we are discussing an agenda, when we are offering advice, or maybe trying to come to a conclusion. So we have to look into everybody's perspective. We have to see the pros and cons of everything, and maybe then reach on to it. Mistakes are always going to happen. There's that is something that we can never change, but we can try to minimize it by being more attentive, by being more what do you call it, anticipating, actually. So by being more anticipating about what can happen, and that can happen through experience. I lack in experience a bit today, but I can see that 20 years down the line I would have much more hope.
Yes, definitely. But you don't lack in experience. You have actually, I think you've experienced so much, and especially I think the COVID-19 phase that you are talking, and I'm sure that for every person, and especially the doctors in general, I think that must have been like a very challenging phase. And as well as I think it has made everyone emerge stronger and more experienced. So that is, I think, one of the biggest experience for everyone, I'm sure. Yeah.
Definitely, I absolutely agree with you.
Yes. So when we talk about technology, what are some of the most groundbreaking changes with technology that you have seen in any of the industries you have worked in? And what changes do you foresee with the introduction of AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, etc.?
So when we are talking about groundbreaking changes in technology, so as I was saying, medicine has progressed a lot in the last 100 years. I can give you an example here that once upon a time, when the stethoscope was not discovered, the doctor used to put their head on the chest to listen to the heart sounds. It is definitely going to sound weird in today's time, because we had colonialism, we had so even in India's culture, it's not well sought when a male is putting their head on a female's chest. So stethoscope was a great discovery, right? And it has evolved so much now that we have digital stethoscopes available. All you have to do is just put the device on the chest, and everything is can be heard by everybody. So technology has helped medicine a lot. We have moved on from doing hand surgeries to robotic surgeries now, although there are still a lot of scope for improvement. But yes, life has become very, very easy when we're talking about technology. You can see your mobile phones, your laptops, everything is available with a single click. Any information that you want to see, it's just available. All you need is in the internet, apart from the device. But when we are talking about technology, we also have to look into the side effects, because I was studying the the graph of how technological advancements happening, and it's a very steep slope. So when you are looking into changes that are that fast, so we look at the good parts, but we forget about the bad ones. So I can give you the example of plastic discovery here. So plastic was a great invention. Plastic, every bit of thing that you see around you is all plastic, but at the same time it is causing so much damage to the earth. So which is something that we have to look into, because now that is not a sustainable solution. Although we are still using it, we are looking into a lot of substitutes, but we've still not found a solution. And I think that is where we have to look into that. Every technology that we are in the process of inventing, discovering, we have to look into the pros and cons, and we have to analyze what are the good aspects of it and what detriments it can cause. But yes,
Right.
technology is definitely part of our life, and I don't think we can ever go out from it. It is never going
Yes,
to happen.
of course. Like throughout the years, I think we've just been adapting new and newer technology, and I think there's no way we can actually escape it. And I think maybe it's for our own betterment also, right?
Yeah, and I can add something here. So there was a research that I was reading. So the people have actually forgotten about the quality time. Just because technology is
Right.
part of our life so much, we just want to do everything all together.
Yes.
So I think this is also one of the things that we should try to inculcate and promote, that technology is also not everything. So
Right.
yeah,
I mean, you should know to use it properly. That is, I think, what.
yeah, I think there is need for balance for everything.
So as you know, we are building a FaceTime with Leaders community for cross-pollination of knowledge and a community of independent directors for having better corporate governance in the country. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole world development team?
Okay, so this is a great initiative because see, again, I'm going to quote something here. So as an employer and as a person who takes a lot of interviews, and even though I am from the medical profession, I'm still part of the management. And so when I take interviews, it's not just medical people. There are different vocational people coming and joining me. So if you have a platform where you can establish something where experts from different field can come in, I think that creates a lot of difference. And again, because inputs is something that can lead to a good governance. So this is a great initiative, that's all I can say, because there are a lot of things that I learned while throughout my journey of the management and as a clinician also. But at the same time, when I meet different people in conferences, I get a lot of different, inspiration and a lot of pointers which I incorporate. So when you have, people from multiple specialties, multiple fields coming and joining together, it creates a good. And I think we can again make the world better.
Yes. Great. Thank you so much. So it was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you, Dr. Prakerti Kashyap, for joining us today. We wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds. It was great having you here with us on FaceTime with Leaders, and we hope to see you again. And thank you so much for sharing all your wonderful insights and valuable knowledge for all of us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. It was great meeting you.